So now, and let me say this. I got to put my disclaimer up here. This is not to offend anybody in the LGBTQ plus, whatever y'all want to add on to that. At all. This is just, if you new to my channel and you don't and you want, I'm trying to catch up to what is going on here. I am a person that has been in the entertainment business for 30 years, right? There, I of I traveled through different stages of my career throughout, from early 90s all the way up into this point, right? So a thing that I've encountered in the entertainment business, uh, by the time I was in my 20s, going into my mid 20s, going into, my 30s and 40s, is the there is a underground LGBTQ community. That's what y'all call it today. But it was an underground homosexuality. Uh, let's just say, for to make it simplified, fraternity for men and sorority for women, right? So uh, there are a lot of people in this. Uh, I'm gonna call it the fraternity and the sorority together. I'm gonna put it under a cult. All right. So under this occult, right, there are women that are married to men, men that are married to women, but they are they have an understanding that they have an alternate lifestyle, and it ain't for everybody. You would have to be in the fraternity or the sorority to understand what goes on in this cult, right? So if you don't pledge for the sorority, if you don't pledge for the fraternity, then you're kind of outcasted from getting into this cult, which is runs America, the world, right? So to give a quick backstory for you, for many of you don't know, homosexuality was illegal in the United States up until, I believe, 74, right? 69, um, because sodomy was illegal in 49 states except for Illinois. So with sodomy being illegal, which means you cannot sodomize another man, right? That's what made homosexuality illegal, right? So they changed laws once NYPD was harassing the gay mafia bars in New York City, down in Greenwich, down in the village of New York. If you know New York City, 14th Street down more to the east side is like Greenwich Village. And this is where all the uh, homosexuals, lesbians, transgenders, they all stood down in that area. Probably was worked out that way through the city, mayors, politicians, whatever, because these people existed, but it wasn't legal for them to be out and about, which is wrong. Today, we all can see people should be able to be who the hell they want to be, right? But at this point, it was illegal, right? So I tell y'all this to say this, right? It was a lot of people that didn't get to express not love, express their emotions due to the laws. So they went and hung out in these gay mafia bars, right? And these gay mafia bars was all throughout the city, right? So this one bar called the Stonewall, and some cops go in there trying to bust some balls or whatever. And this is it in the era of civil rights movement, women's rights movement, um, the Black Panthers, the Young Lords, um, Martin Luther King, all this stuff is going on. So the wave is the revolution, being the revolutionary, So that the June 28th, 1969, NYPD go down to the Stonewall and the gay mafia bar, right? And go in there harassing them. And the mob people was paying off the police. So they had no right to come in there. Legally they ain't have no warrant, no nothing, and they was already paying off the police, right? So with them just busting up in there, they just being some crooked cops getting ready to probably go steal some money from the register, this, that, and ever, or whatever, because the cops be on hard times too and be robbing us, because I experienced that growing up, seeing the police rob the drug dealers and not arrest them. So it exists, right? So the police mess with these people, they all these gay people, and it's lesbians in there. They dragged this lesbian chick, they called her Butch or Dyke, whatever, because she looked like a man or whatever. The police beat her up. The the revolution started right there for the gay people, because people all around coming around seeing what's going on. You know how nosy people are and stuff. And they all come looking. They what's going on, what's going on. Somebody say, oh, it's the Black Panthers and the Young Lords. They starting the revolution. Everybody go jumping in against the police, because everybody hate the police for being harassed by the police, right? I'm sorry, I got to give this backstory, but all this takes place downtown in the village, right? The Stonewall Inn. They don't build monuments. All of this stuff. This is where the gay pride parade come from. The next year, New York, LA, San Francisco, and Chicago all through their first gay gay pride parade, right? So three newspapers was built off of this riot, right? So they didn't stop with that one night. They kept protesting, and then um, the gay and lesbian they created a gay and lesbian organization, just like they created Black Lives Matter, and they pumped this. You know what I'm saying? Just like Black Lives Matter is like everybody that goes to these Black Lives Matter events ain't black. That's the same thing with the LGBT, but it just started off with the LG something organization, LG something organization. I forgot what it is. I got it written down. But It started off with just those two letters, and then they added the B, then they added the T, then they added the Q. But to bring it all back is this is New York City, downtown, Greenwich Village, Lower East Side. This is where all the gay activity is going on in New York. But for a certain period of time, it's illegal. So these people are down low, so to speak, right? Until they're able to come out and not get arrested for doing homosexuality acts, whether in public, in clubs, whatever it was. They were able to change that and then move forward. Boom. Bill Clinton and Bill Clinton in the 90s, I believe. When was Bill Clinton president? 1996. All right. So Bill Clinton put the Defense of Marriage Act, that was DOMA. It was a United States federal law passed by the 104th United States Congress and signed into law by President Bill Clinton on September 21st, 1996, which meant that gay people could not get married or uh, the act declared that no state shall be required to recognize a same gender marriage performed in another state. DOMA was also defined marriage as only between a man and a woman for purpose of federal law. Now, Obama came and overturned that. And then that's when you seen everything get buck wild, right? Who was greatly involved with Obama getting elected? Jay-Z and Beyonce. What was Obama's whole thing? LGBTQ rights, right? So I don't want to jump ahead. So after Obama put things in place, we had Trump, and then we had Biden now that started. One Obama put things in place for the gays and lesbians. Now Biden is putting things in place for the transgenders, right? I don't know what the Q is going to be and what that's going to detail. I hope it ain't them niggas trying to legalize pedophilia or some crazy shit, right? So Biden right now is in fight for the transgenders. So the gays and lesbians got theirs. Biden is trying to get the transgenders to be able to walk in the bathroom with you ladies and y'all be not able to do nothing. Transgender playing in sports with women. This is what Biden is putting in place, just like Obama put all that other stuff in place. But now remember what I told you. From the beginning, this all started with the police harassing gay people at the Stonewall Inn down in the Village in New York. So they got in so much trouble because that was in the election year too, right? They got so much, the police got in so much trouble that when they start putting all these laws in place, That's why you can't get help when it comes to gay people doing stuff, or police is more lenient to do stuff to them because they fucked up on June 28th. And that shit came down hard. And look at the movement that it turned into, right? But remember, the mafia was always attached to that because they gave the gay people a place to be themselves. So when they go start this organization, you think the mafia, this is why you hear the gay mafia, right, isn't involved in this push to got people scared to speak the truth about it, or whatever, right? And then it goes into the music business, right? So yeah, I can get this. Earth God, he is Hold on a second. Let me mute this for a second. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. So, um, the same thing, like with the entertainment industry, like I've been telling y'all, it's not a thing where I have a gripe with uh the homosexuality or the LGBT community. It's the thing in the entertainment industry when you get in and you get to a certain level that that agenda is kind of it ain't kind of that agenda is pushed on certain people that have certain talent that get to a certain level, and as history proves it, with all the people that we named, uh all the actors that we named or whatever, that is a proven track record to the person or the actor that says, no, I'm not putting on the dress or I'm not doing it, that things stop for them or slow down, or they don't get to go and be box office or multi mega super platinum artists and all this other stuff, right? And I believe that it's done that way so they can be who they want to be, but still not in the forefront, not in the open. Even though they got all this freedom, they got all these rights, they can do it. But you still have the people that created brands that this type of information will ruin the brand. Now, I'm gonna give you the perfect example. There's no example more perfect than this. And if you can't see this example to know that a lot of stuff that you see or these relationships that you see, even if they marry, even if they got kids, that their lifestyle to the public is a facade, or their relationship, right? If you are familiar with Whitney Houston's story, right? Now, I love Whitney Houston. She's my top singer of all times, vocalist, right? I love Whitney Houston, right? This ain't to be saying anything because it's public information that, and you could go watch the movie she just they just put out on I Want to Dance with Somebody. That's great, right? When Whitney Houston came into the industry, she was already gay, a lesbian. She already had a relationship with this girl, Robin, right? Now, getting into the entertainment industry, they can't package that, especially way back then. Be like, yo, we got this girl, Whitney Houston, that's a lesbian. Back then, they would have been against the church, and she came from the church. It would have been blasphemous, right? Because uh in the Bible, in Sodom and Gomorrah, God came through and burned things down or cleared things out because of them trying to do homosexuality. So in back as we grew up, and legally up into 69, 74, I believe, homosexuality was illegal, and in the church it was a sin. So this ain't people having being homophobic or anything like that. It was actually illegal at one point. Like this thing was really illegal. You can look it up. You got the computer. You can look it up and see that. Matter of fact, I'll show you myself. Let's see. Let's see. There's the decriminalization of sodomy in the United States. See, laws prohibiting sodomy existed in the penal codes of numerous U.S. states for more than 100 years. Criminalizing this sexual behavior between same sex and opposite sex partners, two challenges to these laws ultimately made their way to the Supreme Court, illuminating not only how the court viewed the law's purpose and utility, but also how American social norms had evolved since the laws were first placed on the books. See, I'm trying to find the year. In 1955, the American Law Institute voted to decriminalize consensual sodomy, and the MPC, I don't know what MPC is right now, subsequently, it did not include such laws in its statutory language. During the 1960s and 1970s, the United States Supreme Court established that within the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, there exists a right to privacy that prevents states from interfering with people's control of their own bodies, disrupting personal relationships, and intruding into the innermost sanctum of the home, the bedroom. From the foundation of this right, the court struck down state laws that attempted to prohibit the use of contraceptives and then intruded into marital privacy. Number 13, limited access contraceptives for unmarried people and restricted a woman's right to obtain an abortion. Although these rulings did not touch existing sodomy laws, the 60s and 70s saw monumentous action in decriminalization. 18 states decriminalized consensual sodomy, consent with the MPC, and that was Kansas, Texas, Montana, Kentucky, Missouri, Nevada, and Tennessee decriminalized opposite sex consensual sodomy, leaving consensual same sex sodomy as a misdemeanor crime. So even in the 60s and 70s, it was still a crime. That is interesting. Bowers versus Hardy, 1980, 1986. Facts of the case. In 1982, a 29-year-old gay man named Michael Hardwick was working as a bartender in the gay bar in Atlanta, in Georgia. One night, as Hardwick was leaving the bar, he threw a bottle into a trash can in front of the establishment. Seeing this, police officer Keith Turek cited Hardwick for drinking in public, despite Hardwick's protestation that this was not the case. Officer Turek inadvertently wrote down the wrong court date on the summons, and when Hardwick did not appear in court, an arrest warrant was issued. Turek's first attempt to track down Hardwick at his home was unsuccessful, but on the second attempt, Turek entered Hardwick's unlocked apartment and opened a bedroom door where he found Hardwick engaging in oral sex with another man. Turek arrested both men who were charged with violating Georgia's sodomy law. And what year is this? 82. The statute, Georgia Anointed Code Section 1662, specified that a person commits the offense of sodomy when he performs or submits to any sexual act involving the sex organs of one person in the mouth and anus of another. And a person convicted of this offense of sodomy shall be punished by imprisonment for not less than one no more than 20 years. What the fuck? And this is 82. This conclusion, which surprised many in the legal and civil rights community, would not be revisited by the U.S. Supreme Court for 17 years. Wow. That shit is crazy. All right, this is throwing me all off. Wait, this case right here is 1998. So Texas had a sodomy law in 1998. So motherfucker, you 20 years for some head. Okay, where was I? Jesus Christ. Oh, all right. So I think I went through all that just to show y'all that it was illegal. You know what I'm saying? So um, it has not always been a legal thing. So, oh, I know why I was saying that. So it ain't people ain't homophobic. It's that at a certain time with us growing up, it was something that it was illegal. As you can see, me pulling up those cases. Uh Lawrence versus Texas, y'all could go look those up, and Bowers versus Hardwick, right? So in the entertainment industry, like I said, you got to think the mafia was running the bars where they got the jukebox, music, and then people came there to party, which you call it dance, drink, have a good time, right? They got that whole area down there. They took care of the gays, right? The police come fucking with the gays, boom, 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 boom. They create this organization. Let me show you real quick. It's called the Gay Liberation Organization. That's what it was. It wasn't even. It was the Gay Liberation. It wasn't the L ain't even stand for lesbian. It stand for liberation. So this is your Mars. Thank you. I appreciate that. So this here is your Black Lives Matter for the gay people, right? This was it. The gay liberation. This is where it started. The LGBT really, the G and the L came from the gay liberation. That's what it started at, right there. So the gay liberation movement just built on and built on, and it was chapters here and there and there and there. Now it's worldwide because it's a money bag. It's a money grab. It's all in the entertainment business, right? So I say all this to say, right? Now we done seen, like I said, the Eddie Murphys and all them, everybody, even on the women's side, you know what I'm saying? Demi Moore's G.I. Jane, and all like they they it got into entertainment and it pushed. So by the time that I'm at like BET and stuff, I can see it. Now they are trying me. Now they and now in hindsight, when I look back, they was pushing this agenda and they was recruiting everybody that was with this agenda, whether you wanted to be, you was flaming, you know what I'm saying, and meaning like Magic Johnson's son, just out there, you know what I'm saying, or you standing next to the like the allegedly the Diddy's and the ones you hear about like that, right? You got those types, right? So like I said, by the time I'm in BT, I'm seeing the agenda, right? I'm seeing now when I look back, I definitely know now they all the interns that come in, they grabbing all the ones that's looking, the little girls that's looking hard and the boys that's feminine, and they got the same person that recruits the interns. And they always bringing in some young kid that they can tell is already gay, right? So you got the people that there's plenty of people like me that did not succumb to their indecent proposals, right? And they stars that the stars that y'all say, yo, remember so and so, yo, that nigga was hot. What you call it? What happened to them? They didn't give into the shit. For the most part. I know it sounds far fetched. Like, yeah, come on, man. Everybody got to be gay or sell their soul to the devil. Don't believe it. Don't believe it, right? Now, if you blew the whistle, so to speak, like they would say, I'm blowing the whistle right now about this secret uh these fraternities and sororities with these entertainers that are that fall under the LGBTQ umbrella, like uh like Janelle Monáe, right? She wasn't pushing that, but you could look at her and tell, couldn't you? Right? But she was more on the stud side, right? Now that all the women are into the women, she done jumped on the femme side, on the feminine side, right? Now her titties out, whatever, but she's still using that umbrella to push her product, right? And now it's accepted more than when it was frowned upon back in, let's just say, NWA days. You wasn't you wasn't gonna have a Jason Lee running around interviewing them goddamn Easy E back in the days. That wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Or a dude like Charlemagne and Envy, you know, dudes go up to the show and they talking all these butt jokes and this, that, and the other. That wasn't happening with Rakim sitting down doing the interview. You get what I'm saying? So these times have changed. But getting back into the industry thing, right? It had become a requirement. And if you wasn't with it, or you got uh exposed to something and you spoke out against it, you was outed. Why? Because they all doing that shit. And if you ain't doing it with them, then you can't be around. You can't work with them, right? So for years, I've been waiting for Jay-Z to put the dress on. He got to put it on. You cannot be in his position without being with the shits, right? So I'm just, I'm just waiting for all my for the alarm to go off for this dude to put the dress on, right? And then something very interesting happened, right? 50 Cent said something and it caught my attention, right? When he said Jay-Z is out here dressing like the gay painter, John Michael Basquiat, right? I'm like, now, many of us don't pay attention to John Michael Basquiat, right? But I researched the dude. It ain't no question that Jay is swagger jacking him, right? And like I tell you, that is not his real hair. That is not his real hair. That is pieces, wigs, whatever. That nigga Jay can't even grow a beard. Y'all think he got all his hair up here, and he can't even do this? He can barely do this much hair up here. He can't even grow a full beard, and y'all think that's all his hair, right? I bet you one of y'all run by him and snatch that wig off his head. He probably, his braids under there that wig is connected to, that nigga braids is probably so thin and little to hold that wig. It probably look like he got stitches in the back. Is like he probably got look like he probably got like 8 big ass stitches in his head or whatever, right? So, but I want y'all to see this, right? Because I'm y'all like Denzel. Many of y'all didn't know Denzel played the gay role. This is why he could just breeze through. He ain't got to do nothing else except for when he got shot in his ass in Training Day, right?